Hello everyone, this is Ryan from Amnesty Gaming, and I'm going to show you Montezuma, or the Aztecs. I'll show you the victory condition I'd recommend if you were to play them, the social policies that I'd recommend if you were to play them, and also they're two unique units, although it's just a unique building and a unique unit. So, he has sacrificial captives, which means he gains culture for the Empire from each enemy unit killed. Somewhat helpful. It's very helpful in the beginning of the game. Especially when you're fighting many barbarians. In some cases you may just want to keep barbarian encampments alive, so that way they keep spawning units, so that way you can continue to kill them and you'll gain more culture this way. It's very helpful in terms of if you want to win a cultural victory, because you can stay small, you can kill those barbarians, and early on chances are you will want to attack many civilizations, considering your Jaguar warrior, which is your special unit, will be able to kill many units because it's a very good one. Chances are you will be stuck in the jungle because it's usually Montezuma's start bias, and they have a bonus while attacking in the jungle as well. They heal more or less. So, with that being said, the top 4 victory conditions I'd recommend would be: number 1 would definitely be domination, specifically because that's kind of how the Aztecs are. They dominate. The Jaguar warrior is a very good unit to start off with. I would highly recommend building any of them as soon as you can, so that way right off the bat you'll be able to start taking out civilizations. And then secondly would be science, because as always, if you're able to dominate, you'll have lots of cities, although it may not actually be many cities. It could be just your capital, one city of yours, and maybe many capitals that you've captured over the years. And those capitals always generate tons of science, plus sometimes they'll have wonders in there, which will also help to your benefit, meaning you can win scientifically fairly easy because you'll generate tons of science. And then the third one will be culture. Now, some people may disagree with that. Some people may say culture is number 1 for Montezuma because of the culture for the Empire for each enemy unit killed. Now, that may be true, but I don't exactly believe he's that strong in a cultural victory, because again, if you're fighting, that means that you have to continuously kill units. He's not exactly the biggest defensive civilization out there. So if you're only going to have, 2-3 cities, unless you're playing on a really small map, you're going to be hindered, and the AI will want to come kill you. And sure, you may defend, but you won't get that much culture as if you were attacking offensively, where when you're attacking offensively you're going to have many cities. So it is recommended, but culture's not that great. And then the fourth one will be diplomatic. Diplomatic is probably the worst you could go, because there's no bonus you get for diplomacy. No matter what route you go, normally I would say to expand quickly as Montezuma and try to build lots of units to go take things over. AIs tend to not like that. You'll be in the jungle, so you may not have many luxury resources to trade away. But anyway, so I will show you the Jaguar and the floating gardens. Alright, the Jaguar is the Aztec special unit. It will cost you 40 production or 80 faith. It is a melee unit. It has 8 combat strength and 2 movement. Its abilities will be: it's a combat bonus in forests and jungles by 33%. It's a woodsman and heals 25 damage if it kills a unit. So what essentially that means is that he's very good in the jungle and or forest. Chances are you will be spawned in that location as well. Any civilizations in and around that area you're going to want to attack. The only one I really want to suggest is the Iroquois, because they kind of get a bonus for that as well. Nonetheless, if you go after a civilization in a jungle and whatnot with a bunch of Jaguars, maybe even archers, you will dominate. And I highly recommend trying to take over any civilizations that are in the jungle to get an early kill, to get that capital. Maybe even rather than building a settler, just build up military units, try to gain as much gold, build up military units, take over the capital, and you're on your way for a domination victory. And then the special building they have is the floating gardens, which costs you 75 production maintenance is going to be 1 gold per turn, +2 food, and +1 production. And then this is special because it also generates 15% food. Each worked lake tile provides +2 food. Now chances are you're not always going to be near lakes, but if you are, it's a very lakey map for whatever reason that may be, it will be very, very helpful because you're going to generate more food out of it. So, with that being said, now I will show you the social policies if you were to pick Montezuma as the Aztecs. Before I show you any social policies, I'll tell you about the Aztecs' start bias, and this is a fairly good indication. There's lots of jungle, and there's forest, plainsy type land. Now, normally you'll be actually even more jungle usually. Kind of surprised to see as much forest as there is. Nonetheless, again, as always, it's the Aztecs. You will always generally be near these things, so as long as the map type has it. And then you'll want to use this guy, the Aztec Jaguar, to take over many things. Again, going to reiterate what I said in the beginning of the video. Make sure to take over barbarians. I would even recommend to keep the barbarian camps alive. Let the AI take that over. Unless you really need the gold from those camps, take it over. But the reason why I recommend to keep them around is because, again, you will get culture out of killing those barbarians. So if you are looking for the cultural victory, which isn't a bad victory condition, you'll be able to get more without actually having to declare war on an AI. Otherwise, if the barbarians are pretty much eliminated, unfortunately, to some extent, you will have to fight AI to continue getting culture that way, which isn't bad, but I always believe if you're going to just start up wars like that, it's easier just to finish them, take them over, and play the game through a domination victory rather than a cultural victory. But that's my personal opinion. I would definitely recommend Liberty. If you want to expand, you want to build many cities, you want to build many Jaguar warriors as best as you can early on, and better units throughout the game. As always, why is Liberty the one that I would choose for expansion? It's because it will give you 1 culture in every city. Once you get the whole track, you'll get a great person of your liking. Your workers will work faster, you'll get settlers quicker. And then if you don't want to go that track, you want to do culture, you just want to kill those barbarians, you want to kill AI, just fight them to get the culture or whichever. Tradition is the way you want to go with that. To some extent, some people would say honor, so it's really a cross between. Tradition is nice for smaller empires, and the reason why I'd recommend tradition over honor is because tradition will let you build up on your cities earlier in the game. Well, the longevity of it is going to last way more than honor would. Honor is more or less in the beginning of the game, whereas tradition would be more or less throughout the whole entire game. And how is that? It'll give you cultural buildings in your first 4 cities. You'll actually get happiness for the amount of people that you have in there. It'll also have no maintenance for the units. Whereas honor, the only reason why I'd recommend it at all is for adopting honor, just in general, because you'll get a combat bonus versus barbarians, and secondly, you'll gain more culture for the empire for killing barbarians. So that extra culture boost for killing the barbarians is helpful. So I hope you guys like watching the Aztecs. Please rate, subscribe, and comment, and watch my other videos.